The air on the prison ship Iron Fang always smelled of metal and sterilized air. The guards liked it that way, cold, harsh, unfeeling. To them, it was a reminder that no one who entered this place had a name anymore. Only numbers, only chains. When a human, Cale Dern, was dragged aboard in shackles, he noticed the other prisoners keeping their heads down. No one spoke. No one dared. The guard were massive reptilian beings, their eyes sharp and movements brutal. They thrived on silence. But then they brought her in. She was small compared to them, slender with silver hair that fell like a sheet of moonlight over her shoulders. Her wrists were bound, her ankles chained, and yet she walked with an odd calmness, as though she was not afraid. The guard sneered, calling her Property 9B. To Cale, she didn't look like property at all. She looked like someone hiding something. They threw the prisoners into the central holding bay. Metal grates beneath their feet hummed with the engines. Around them, the Iron Fang stretched for miles of steel corridors and locked doors. Cale kept his eyes on her. She sat near the wall, tracing a finger along the grooves of floor, as though memorizing them. A guard stomped past. No talking. No moving. No trouble. Cale leaned closer anyway. You don't belong here. Her silver eyes flicked to him, and for a second he swore he saw a flash of recognition. Not of him, but of something deeper. Neither do you, she whispered back. Before he could say more, the ship jolted. A low hum pulsed through the walls, like the vessel itself had shivered. The lights flickered once. Twice, the guards cursed in their guttural language, slamming fists into control panels. Systems glitch. Keep still. But the hum didn't stop. It grew louder, stronger, and then a voice. A deep, feminine voice echoed to the metal corridors of the ship, resonating in every bolt and plate. Asterisk command input detected. Identity signature confirmed. Asterisk. The guards froze. Their yellow eyes widened. That's impossible. Cale looked around. Who's speaking? The silver-haired prisoner slowly rose to her feet, chains clinking. Her calmness never wavered. The ship's voice spoke again, sharper this time. Asterisk recognized authority. Princess Lysera of the Aelthari Dominion. Asterisk. The guard staggered back. One dropped his shock baton. Another snarled, No, the princess is dead. She was executed in the uprising. But the ship interrupted. Asterisk correction. Princess Lysera lives. Current life signs confirmed. Awaiting command. Asterisk. Every prisoner in the bay turned to stare at her. Lysera, the woman who'd been marched in as nothing more than another captive, lifted her head high. Release all cells, she said softly. The ship obeyed. Shackles clicked open. Chains fell to floor. Cale felt the weight on his wrist vanish, and he rubbed at the bruised skin in disbelief. Around him, hundreds of other prisoners gasped as their restraints unlocked. The guards roared in panic. One lunged at her with a blade, but the floor shifted beneath his feet as the ship tilted. Metal spikes burst upward from the ground, blocking his strike. The vessel itself was protecting her. Lysera stepped forward, her chains sliding off like dead vines. You thought I was broken. You thought I was powerless. But this ship was mine long before it was yours. Cale watched, stunned, as a massive warship responded to her every breath. Doors hissed open where she glanced. Lights followed her steps. Weapons retracted from walls at her silent command. The guards tried to rally, barking orders. Contain her. She cannot leave. But the ship did not obey them. It obeyed her. The prisoners rose, no longer bound. Many grabbed dropped weapons, their faces lit with a new fire. For years, they had been beaten and silenced. Now they stood behind their princess. Cale stepped closer to Lysera. You planned this, didn't you? Her silver eyes softened. I prayed for it. I wasn't sure the ship would still remember me, but it does. The Iron Fang groaned as its engines shifted course. The guards screamed into comms, begging reinforcements, but the comm panels sparked and died. Lysera turned her gaze toward the bridge, and the corridors lit a glowing path before her. She moved with regal certainty, even in bare feet and torn clothes. Cale followed, instinct telling him not to let her walk alone. The prisoners surged behind them, a wave of the once forgotten. "Why were you here?" Kael asked as they walked. "They wanted leverage." Lysera answered, "My people fought back against occupation. The enemy spread lies of my death. But instead, they kept me hidden, humiliated, erased. If the galaxy believed I lived, rebellions would rise." "And now," he asked, "now the galaxy will remember." They reached the command deck doors. 2 hulking guards stood ready, plasma rifles charged. They laughed when they saw her. "Princess or not," one growled, "you bleed like the rest." Lysera didn't flinch. She whispered one word: "Disarm." The rifles exploded in their hands, sending them crashing back. The door slid open, and the prisoners roared as they stormed the bridge. Kael stayed at Lysera's side. She touched the main console, and the lights shifted from blood red to a soft silver glow. The ship hummed again, like a beast that had been caged too long finally set free. "Set course for Aelthari Prime," she commanded. "Confirmed," the ship replied. Asterisk course plotted. Estimated arrival, 12 cycles. Asterisk. Kael exhaled slowly. "You just turned a prison ship into a warship." Lysera looked at him, and for the first time, a small smile curved her lips. "No, I turned it back into what was always meant to be ours." But even as hope surged in the room, Kael saw shadows of worry in her eyes. "Won't they chase us?" he asked quietly. "They will," she admitted. "They will send fleets. They will send everything. But now we have a chance." The prisoners stood tall behind her, no longer slaves, no longer forgotten. Some wept openly. Some clenched fists in silent vows. For Kael, it was clear this was no ordinary woman. She was a spark that could ignite a galaxy. As the stars shifted through the viewport, Lysera lifted her chin. Her voice was steady, regal, unyielding. "To those who try to bury me," she said, her words carrying through the ship's speakers, "you should remember that seeds buried in darkness do not die. They grow." The ship thundered in agreement, engines flaring with light. And Kael knew then the war had just changed, because the galaxy's lost princess had risen again, and she had a prison ship full of believers at her side.